Hello everyone, thank you for your interest on NetSense, and on this video we will explore how to deal with NetSense tool. So at first, if I go to this site, we can actually see that our site is already open, and what kind of problem NetSense solve is mainly you have a third-party site and you are getting a service from the third-party site, and suppose generating cryptos, and now it is using my credentials and all those stuffs, and I wanted to generate these stuffs and sell to actual real customers, but the problem is I won't be available in the shop all the time. So my account, which is this on this third party website, will be used by my employees, and I need to track how many tokens are they are generating, but I do not have access to the third party API of this specific site. So to solve this problem, I will use an extension called NetSense, and which is made by me, and then I will show you how it is helpful. So right now I have no way to track how many tokens are being generated by my employees, but I need a record of this because I am not using my account. Also, other people are also using my account, and also I do not have an API access, so I need to solve this problem somehow. So if I open the NetSense extension, you can already see that I have already added a top level domain. So just for your easy purpose, if I just remove everything that I have added earlier, let me show you from scratch. So here you need to whitelist the origin you wanted NetSense to proctor. So each and every website will not be tracked by the extension, only the sites that you will give permission will be tracked by this extension. So what we have to do is just write the domain name, and the domain name is something which is excluding the HTTP, HTTPS, and also the sublinks. Okay, so just only the domain, base domain or origin name. So for this site, my domain name is nothing but 5173, and as soon as I add and reload, of course, so I can see the NetSense is proctoring. That means this site is under NetSense right now. And then what we will do is, if we click on this button, you will see nothing is happened. So now we have to go to our research phase, and for research phase we have to enable the global logging. So global logging says that log all the requests that is being made by this site, just so that I can research and find out which specific URL or network request I need to react on. So right now, if I just generate crypto right now, you can see NetSense objects are being generated. So as this is a very simple site, only one kind of URL is being requested, and if you work on a very complex site, you will see there are multiple kind of requests, but as it is a simple site, we have only one request URL. So what we'll do is, I will say I want to track this specific URL under this website. So for that I have to go to explore, and for under this website I will say I want to track this sublink. Okay, and then if I add it, I have my stuff here, and now we do not need the global logging anymore. If you want logging for a specific URL under this website, what we can do is go to edit and click on the logging check. And now if we clear the things up and generate crypto, you see again it's working as same as it is. One thing I wanted to mention about the sublink or the whitelist URLs or URL prefixes that we want to track under this origin is, you do not need to track the entire URL all the time. If you want, you can actually also track sub URLs like this or the prefix instead of tracking everything. So now instead of this subdomain, if I delete it and just add a prefix of it, it will still work. Okay, so I just wanted to edit and log the request of this URL, and now if we clean and generate crypto, you see still is working because the prefix is being matched. So in this way you can actually set up your main links and sublinks. So I hope you have understood the process of top level domains and sub level domains. Now let's come to endpoints. So now our main problem was we wanted to send and react upon these requests or keep track of these records, right? So what we have to do is make API endpoints, and API endpoints are nothing but the custom server endpoints which will our extension NetSense send post request with the body as this NetSense objects. so that your server can react upon this NetSense request, which is a mechanism of webhook. So as you can see, I have already one extension logged in here, which is like one server. So what I will do is just restart the server so that you can see the server URL is 5000. So let me add an endpoint for you right now. So this is my server endpoint that I wanted to add, and you can see that as NetSense has tried the status, it says okay. So this is a valid endpoint, and NetSense can actually access and send stuffs to this endpoint. So you can also see the status here. So now what I have to do is go to my sublinks, edit, and you can see that 0 endpoints associated. So we just need to associate our endpoint that we just created to this specific sublink, which is nothing but this one, like localhost 5000. So we are assigning, and as soon we assign, we can see that one endpoint was associated. When there will be lots of snippets or endpoints, you can actually search here, but now we do not need the search. Even every field like this and this also have search capabilities. So if you search something like G, you will see nothing is being shown, but if you type L, then you see localhost is being shown. So these also have default search capabilities. So now as we can see, we have one endpoint associated to our sublink. That means all the requests that will be generated by sending on this URL, you can send it to your server. So now if I cancel and generate crypto, you will see that if I go to my server, the server is also generating the things like random int 54, right? Now if I generate more, 64, let's go and see. So all these are being generated, and see the last one is 64. So we are getting our stuff on our server, and now we can do whatever we want with this specific information. So I hope whoever minimum developer experience has already understood how this thing works. You just need to keep open a post request domain for us where we can where the extension can actually send these objects for your work. So this was a simple thing. So if I just give an overall overview, then you have to actually list all the sites that you wanted to track under NetSense proctoring on the top level domain, and for each site you actually wanted to track some subdomains which will be listed here, including HTTP and all the things. And on the subdomains, you do not have to include everything like from start to end. You can also do prefix matching, which is anything on the prefix that you find useful. And after that you have to create endpoints, and after creating endpoints, what you have to do is go to the sublinks again, and you can attach your endpoints to the sublinks, right? So these sublink endpoints are becomes reusable, so you can attach one sublinks to multiple API endpoints, or multiple API endpoint to multiple sublinks. And finally, the thing I wanted to say you is, like, when you research, you must have used the option global logging. What does global logging help you is like log every request so that you can actually identify which sublinks do you need to list on this sublink URL page. So this was all the thing that this extension provides. The only thing left is the security. So the security is like on the office mode. So just now I will show you how the office mode works. Thank you. So now on the second part, I'm gonna show you how the office mode works. So you need this office mode only if you are using this extension for office purposes. Otherwise you do not need to switch on office mode. Okay. So what office mode will do is, as soon as you switch the office mode and then come back and then start, see, you have to give an email and password for account creation, and it is just a one-time creation. So when the owner of the shop, who will actually be using this extension, will give his email and any kind of password. So I'm just giving and create. So now my account is created. Now every time I wanted to do any kind of modifications, I have to provide my email and password. Okay, and now I have to verify. That's it. And the other thing is, you may think like, okay, what if my employee switches off this extension, or what if he tampers with the database? Because if I actually show you, all the data are being stored on the IndexedDB, which is on the client side, right? So there is a big deal if the user actually comes and manipulates this data, right? And you can actually, you can see, you can delete this data, right? So I will see how my extension handles these two cases. So at first, what if the extension disables? So as soon as the user disables and then he switches on while the office mode was on, then what happens is, if I go to my Gmail right now, okay, and see, already have got an email saying potential unauthorized extension deactivated detected. So if your employees tries to disable this extension, you will get an immediate notification on your email, which will actually help you to know that someone is saying that they have turned off the extension so that your server doesn't get any kind of informations they are actually using from. So if you are a developer, you have already understood that how it is helpful. And on the other hand, the tampering of the database, so let me show you how we are handling that also. So if we go to inspect and go to the application, suppose we have a sublink and then we also have a top link and all those stuffs. Suppose you may think like, okay, let me delete the password, so this will actually remove the password and I can do anything I want. But if you delete any kind of tampering or do any kind of tampering like delete, okay, and then as soon I cross and I open, see data, okay, and it also says that email sent to admin regarding suspicious activity, okay, and you can see that the data has been tampered with, you are guilty, please contact with your owner immediately for resolving current issue. NetSense has already mailed this scenario to the owner with resolving solutions. Now if I go back to my email, I can see another new email which is saying database tampering detected, and this email is to inform you that the NetSense extension has detected potential tampering with the database. This could indicate unauthorized activity. To resolve this issue, please reinstall the NetSense extension from scratch. This will ensure the extension is restored to its original state and any unauthorized changes are removed. So this is the actual thing for capturing or catching your employees if they are doing anything illegal, because you are giving access to a site which has your credentials and you want to track what your employees are doing, and this is a very crucial thing, right? And you need to manage the security properly. So as you can see, as soon as your employee has tampered with the database, it has locked themselves from using this extension, and at the same time they can all not also disable the extension. So this was the security of office mode. So what I will do now is just remove, as I am hijacked, I will remove the thing and then I will load unpacked, because now I am in the developer mode right now. So if I reinstall the extension, then you will see that I am good to go again. See, I'm good to go again. But even if the users or the employee reinstall the extension will be empty with no data anymore, so they cannot actually recover back to the previous state what was then at that time. So I hope you also write the security features also, like the office mode, the global logging, endpoints, sublinks, top level domains, and everything you have understood very well. So thank you, and for any kind of query you can comment on this YouTube video link and I will be trying to answer all of your queries. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this tutorial and hope you have a very good journey by using my extension NetSense.